This is Valley News Live at 6.
Two women have a warning for you tonight after they say they had scary and unsettling situations at two separate Fargo retail stores yesterday. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spoke with one of those women today, as well as police, on what you should do if something similar happens.
Before Kenzie Pavic made her way to Target Thursday afternoon, she had already seen this post warning of a strange encounter with 5 men and a woman at Barnes & Noble, watching and following a mother and her kids around the store.
Just watch out, watch what's going on around you. We shouldn't have to feel this way, but we do.
But Pavic says she never imagined something similar would then happen to her hours later, stating she was crouched down in the baby food aisle when a man in his 20s or 30s bent down next to her, asking her questions about her kids, how much money her husband makes, and if he was a good dad.
At that point, he reached over and he grabbed my hand and wanted to see my wedding rings. And I pulled my hand back and he's like, "I'm not scary, don't be scared. This isn't weird." No, this is really weird, you're freaking me out.
Pavic says she made sure the man wasn't following her before making her way to the front of the store to report the situation to a manager and security.
Yeah, I was scared, I was vulnerable, I felt violated. Afterwards, I was like, I feel like I need to shower. I don't know, it was just a very uncomfortable feeling.
Pavic says even if what happened was nothing, she says it's always important to listen to your gut and wants other women to be more aware going forward.
I don't want it to get to the point where he does do something to somebody else and that's what it takes to hit the news or to, alert others.
In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Fargo police say if something like this happens to you, call the non-emergency number immediately, saying most of the time incidents like these are underreported. Police say while being creepy isn't illegal, reporting these situations is important so that officers can keep a tally on where and how often things like this happen in case of future investigations or criminal charges. Area roads could pose a challenge this evening. There's a wintry mix moving through, and that's expected to make things slippery. Let's get more from Hutch now in First Weather. Hey, Hutch.
Andrea, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Please be cautious no matter where you're driving, even here in the FM area. Hutch went a sliding when he pressed on the brake pedal tonight. Those roads are icy in spots. Now, where we have the most concern, thanks to our friends at the DOT in North Dakota, in the Devil's Lake Basin, frosty roads. We do have some snow-covered and icy roads through Carrington, through Fessenden, and down in toward the Wahpeton area. So keep that in mind. Then as we go into the day tomorrow, we're going to have areas of freezing drizzle likely. And then on top of that, if that freezes on area roads, we're going to expect some snow in the forecast. Radar, not too impressive tonight, but snow showers are not going to be out of the question, particularly in northeast parts of North Dakota and northwest Minnesota. Steady temperatures, cloudy skies, breezy conditions, and areas of freezing drizzle and freezing fog will keep that slippery condition around the area as we go through the evening. Low 20s tonight in Grand Forks as well, much the same. Now, I have details on a weekend that looks to bring some very slippery travel conditions, but not a lot of snow. Hour by hour forecast on that. We'll check up on our late week storm or midweek storm here in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. A horse's death is being investigated after it was found with what appeared to be a single gunshot wound. It happened yesterday in a 30,000 block of County Highway 43 in rural Earhart, Minnesota. The horse was in a pasture with other horses. If you have any information, call the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office at this phone number, 218-998-8555. We have a crew in that area right now, and tonight on Valley News Live at 10, we'll speak exclusively to neighbors. The Fargo Police Department is asking you to keep an eye out for this car. They say a suspect in the Arbors apartment shooting may be traveling in it. It is described as a 2009 Hyundai Sonata with North Dakota license plates 091DHL. Oliver Ty has been charged with attempted murder along with other crimes connected to the shooting. Police are still looking for him. If you see him or the car, call police. A Cass County judge has refused to reduce the prison sentence of a West Fargo man who pleaded guilty in a drunk driving crash that killed a friend. Officials say Daniel Del Pozo wrote a request stating that a reduced sentence was in the interest of justice and for the well-being of his family. Del Pozo is sentenced to 12 years in prison for the death of Johnny Gray in June of 2019. Gray was a well-known hairstylist in Fargo. Shoplifters are at it again at a downtown Fargo business, this time stealing at least $50 worth of goods from local makers. Ashley with Unglued says 2 people walked in yesterday and bought some items, but when she looked at surveillance video, she found a woman stuffing her jacket. She says it had to be someone who is familiar with the shop because they knew to ask what prints they had.
When it's a small business and they directly took from 5 local makers, like directly from Fargo at least. And so it's just really frustrating, and you want to find a way to prevent it from happening ever again and to at least get the things back.
Ashley reported it to police. She says in 2020 they had the most shoplifters ever. In your legislative watch, the Senate has withdrawn a controversial bill that would have included clergies as mandatory reporting bodies for child abuse. The current law requires various groups like teachers, child care workers, doctors, and police to report child abuse or neglect when they see it. Senate Bill 2180 got pushback from many members of the Catholic Church, with Bishop David Kagan saying it would have unsealed the Catholic confession. However, bill sponsor Senator Judy Lee said that wasn't the purpose.
But if Senate Bill 2180 has been successful in raising the issue so that everyone sees his or her role in ending child abuse, this brouhaha will have been worth it.
The Senate withdrew the bill today, but Senator Lee says awareness of the issue of child abuse is what's important. Getting a speeding ticket is never pleasant, but the fine you receive could differ completely depending on where you're driving. Lawmakers are looking to completely revamp the system. The bill, which gained support in the House Transportation Committee, seeks to streamline statutory fee amounts and points for speeding violations.
I just could not get past the idea that we have 3 structures of fine schedules, and in real life, it can mean some very significant differences.
Representative Corey Mock says he's been reluctant to adjust traffic fines in the past, but says he feels this work needs to be done. A plan by some North Dakota lawmakers could discontinue food assistance. They're looking to end a pandemic-related emergency declaration that brought in more money for food stamps. If this happens, the state could lose $2.8 million monthly for food stamp allocations to more than 15,000 households. A new COVID-19 vaccine is on its way to the area. Later on Valley News Live at 6, we'll tell you if you have a choice on which vaccine you can take.
And expect slippery conditions through your Saturday to develop for many areas with some snow on the way. Hour by hour details in your forecast are coming up right after this.